Hey guys, so this is the Acebeam Terminator M2-X multi-light source everyday carry flashlight. Now this can function as a floodlight, a spotlight, and also has the functionality to be an auxiliary light. Okay, now quick disclaimer, I am not a hiker, I don't go for outside adventures, I have a very boring life. That doesn't stop me from reviewing a device that is very useful whether you are a hiker, you go on adventures, or you need a light source that has a lot of functionality. Alright, so with that said, let's start with the unboxing. Now the Terminator M2-X doesn't come in any fancy packaging. It's pretty normal, pretty straightforward. Inside the box you get some paperwork, you get the lanyard strap to attach to the light, a USB-C to USB-A charging cable, a set of extra rubber rings, and of course the Acebeam M2-X light itself. First, let's talk about the build quality of the M2-X. Now, there is a reason that this weighs close to 200 grams, and it's because this thing is made completely of metal. So there is absolutely no compromise on the build quality. It is hefty, it is robust, ideal for outdoor use, and because it's all metal, it's also got an impact resistance from 1.5 meters. Also, it is IP68 waterproof, so yes, it can be submerged up to 2 meters of water, and you can even turn on the flashlight underwater, and it's going to be just fine. Alright, now let's talk about some of the key specs of the M2-X. Now the version I have is the cool white version, which has a color temperature of 6500 Kelvin. Now this has a maximum output of up to 3200 lumens in the floodlight mode, up to a distance of 178 meters, and up to 900 lumens in the spotlight mode, up to a distance of 500 meters. Now up front you have two light sources, one for the floodlight and the other for the spotlight. Now at the back you have the main power button that is used to turn on and turn off the flashlight, as well as choose between the different modes, which I'll get into later. Now beside the main power button you have the battery compartment, which houses the 3100 mAh battery. Now this battery has an inbuilt USB-C port, so yes, it can be charged directly using the supplied cable or any other cable that you have lying around. Not just that, on the top of the battery you have a small LED light that will let you know when it's fully charged or charging. Now on the left we have a side switch that lets you quickly toggle between the spotlight mode and the floodlight mode, and it also lets you cycle through the different auxiliary light modes, which again I will talk about later. Now on top we have LEDs that let you know which light mode you're on, so if you're on the floodlight mode or spotlight mode or RGB, and it'll also let you know the battery level. And at the back of the device you have a very sturdy and tight metal clip that you can attach it to your clothing or backpack. Now as for the complete technical parameters of this device, I'm not going to bore you with all the details. Rather, the chart you're seeing right now on screen, this basically summarizes everything, every information that you could possibly require from this device. So if you need, you can pause the video now and have a good look at that. Okay, now I'm going to give you a demo of the different light modes and their intensities. So I'm going to do one part in my studio. I'm going to make it completely dark and go through different light modes, their intensities, and I'm also going to tell you which is useful, which is not. And I'm also going to do a part where I'm going to do it outside. Now, because I live in the heart of the city and there is a lot of light pollution everywhere, it's not going to be ideal to let you know how intense the light is or how faint it is, but it'll give you an idea. And whatever you see from here, you'll know that if you are in a darker environment, it's just going to be better. Alright guys, so now I've darkened my studio as much as I possibly could, and I've kept a small light source on top of the camera so that it can focus on this light. As you can see, everything is off now, and here is the power button. So if I press it once, it's going to turn on the floodlight. This is the lowest intensity of the floodlight. Now if I press the power button again, this is the second intensity level of the floodlight. If I keep pressing it again, this is the next level of intensity. Here is it bouncing from the ceiling. Here is it up front. If I press it again, here we go to the next intensity level. Pressing it again, it turns off. Now let's turn this on again. So lowest level, second level, third level, fourth, and the brightest in the floodlight. Now there is a mode called turbo, where if I quickly double press the power button, it's going to go into turbo mode. That is going to shoot out 3200 lumens. So let's try that. Now this is turbo mode. As you can see, now it's literally lighting up the entire studio, but you can just see how much bright it gets. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. On the side, as I said, on the left, we have the side switch. If I press this, it's going to turn on the spotlight mode. So let's try that now. Here we have the spotlight. Pretty bright. Now, if I press the side switch again, it's going to switch to the floodlight. So it lets you easily switch between flood and spot on the fly with just the side switch. Now, while I'm in this mode, say in the spotlight mode, if I double press the power switch, it's going to go into strobe effect. So just a quick warning for anyone who gets seizures, there's going to be a lot of flashing right now, so you can look away if you want to. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that was a strobe effect. So I'm going to turn the light on again. So it's in the spotlight mode, as you can see. So I'm going to change it to floodlight. And now let's see the auxiliary light option. So if you long press the side switch, it's going to turn on the auxiliary light. So now it's cycling through the different colors. Okay, this is only 0.5 lumens. Now if I long press it again, now it's going to glow red. If I long press it again, it's just going to glow green. And again, it's just going to glow blue. Now there's another mode. This is the green signal. At particular intervals, it's going to flash. And long press it again. This is the SOS in red. And that's about it for your auxiliary light option. Now I'm going to show you this option called Moonlight, which I feel is very useful and it is perfect as a reading light. And it's just going to be 1 lumen. So you have to, in the off mode, you have to long press the power button. And this is your Moonlight, just 1 lumen. I can safely flash it at the lens as well. So this is perfect for a reading light, and it gives you, on a full charge, you'll get around 38 hours continuously. So there is literally no throw with the Moonlight, obviously at 1 lumen, but for a reading light, it's very useful. And now we can turn that off and go into our normal floodlight. So yeah, pretty neat. Alright, hey guys, so now it is nighttime. I am outside, as you can see, but there is a lot of light pollution here. Still dark, and I apologize for the poor sound because we're having some stormy weather here, so bear with me. So I have the torch with me right here, the flashlight. So I'm going to turn on the floodlight in its lowest intensity setting, and as you can see, now we will go up a notch. This is the 2nd brightness setting, 3rd, and this is the highest setting. This is not yet turbo mode, mind you. So this is just the highest setting with the floodlight. And now I'm going to double press the power button to turn on turbo. So this is turbo mode, as you can see. Very, very bright. All right. Now let's switch to the side button and we'll turn on the spotlight. There we go. That is your spotlight. Not a bad range. So there's a building in the front and the spotlight easily reaches there. Not good to point at a building, so I'm going to turn it. Okay, now if I double press the side switch, it's going to turn on the spotlight along with the floodlight. So let's go. There you see, It's the floodlight along with the spotlight at the center. Pretty bright. And back to just the spotlight. Now when you turn on the spotlight, as you can see around it, there is a bit of a spill, and this is your usual typical side effect of LED lights. If this was an LEP light, which would incorporate a laser, then this spill around the spotlight would not happen. But it's no big deal, just something that you should know about. Alright guys, now I hope that gave you an idea of how powerful the different intensities are and how useful it is from this tiny device. Alright, now I'm just going to quickly talk about a few cons, or not really cons, but some observations that I've had that are not that great. Now, one is that because it has an LED light source, so when you're using the spotlight mode, there is some spill around the hotspot. Now, this is a given when you have an LED light source, because if this was an LEP light, that would have had a laser inside and the spotlight beam would have been just pin perfect and there would have been no spill. So it's not really a con, but it's just an observation. So that is something you should be aware of. Now, the second thing is, as you've already seen from the auxiliary lights, now those have 0.5 lumen output, which is barely visible unless it's completely dark, and that too you have to bring it really close to the surface and then you can see the light. So I don't really know the practical use of the auxiliary lights. The SOS in red, that while SOS is definitely useful, but because again it's just 0.5 lumens, I'm worried about how visible that is going to be from a distance, as well as the green signal. Alright guys, so like I said, I'm not a hiker, nor do I go for outdoor activities where I require something so robust or powerful. But as an everyday carry flashlight, the M2-X checks all the boxes and goes beyond. And for a person who requires an everyday carry flashlight that they can use in multiple scenarios, the Acebeam Terminator M2-X is the way to go. So there you have it guys, that was my in-depth and detailed review of the Acebeam Terminator M2-X Everyday Carry Multi-Light Source Flashlight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions regarding this, do hit me up in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them. As always, the link to this will be in the description below. You can check it out from there. So if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video with someone who goes on adventures and needs a very robust and powerful flashlight. I think they'll be very happy. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.